Welcome to the Eric J. Show podcast. Daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. From the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio, Baldwin Ace Hardware, a beacon of DIY awesomeness in the Northland of Michigan. Hope you're all doing okay. Glad you are here. Some people will probably be happy with what I'm about to tell you, and that's a little weird, but whatever. You know, par for the course with your old pal Eric Zane. But I injured myself yesterday, and I cut my foot quite badly with a chainsaw. Yes, that is true. And I can barely walk, and I am not going to be able to run. And I'm very, very disappointed about that. I have the details for you, and they are not fun. Oh, my God. There is a vagina on my foot, on the bottom of my foot. Holy cow. I won't be doing anything for quite some time. I am so damn lucky, though, that there isn't any major long-lasting damage. I will be fine. But this is a par for the course. This is like me becoming my father. As you know, my father has a long, rich history with injuries. And this is remarkably stupid. And all your questions will be answered. I see there's already all sorts of them. I'm going to give you all the details. Like, for example, how did that happen? That's coming. Did you need stitches? That information's coming. The comment, Eric is morphing into meathead in front of our eyes. Yes. How did you cut the bottom of your foot with the damn chainsaw? What kind of footwear did you have on? These are all excellent questions. Did you call 911? Do you have the shoe to show us? I do, but I'll have to, if I have to take a pee, I'll go grab it. Or I could show it to you on the Patreon. Wow. So I have all of those things. Tyler says, if Eric called 911, it was only to notify them that he was speeding to the hospital. Yeah, but what time did you call 911? Amanda says, all right, everybody, sit back. It's story time. You're damn right, lady. You are damn right. All right. Let me get to this. I had all of the equipment on that I should have been wearing. I had my pants that are designed to keep you from actually injuring yourself. They're chaps. They're orange. Tyler says, will we see the foot pics or it didn't happen? Oh, of course. It's all bandaged up. I'll show you that. Don't worry. It's coming. Be patient, my friends. All will be revealed. Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven. So I had the pants on. I had the helmet with the ear protection and the visor over my face. I had a sinking feeling, though, that ladder, bad idea. This, by the way, this could have been so much worse. Crocs. Footwear. Crocs. All right. I would like to think that because it's a chainsaw and they're vicious, that it wouldn't really have mattered what I was wearing. Now, I have a pair of boots But I don't even think that the boots would have mattered, to be perfectly honest with you. And the croc did serve its purpose. It actually protected me quite a bit. But so I'm not even sure that, and because my foot doesn't fit right snug in the croc, there's always a little wiggle room between the croc and the foot, If my foot had been in a shoe snug with it, it may actually have done more damage. It might have been a wash. I'm just telling you that if I did have a chance to do it differently again, I think what I should do is I should actually purchase, some like metal shoes or something. And I don't even know if they have anything like that. My point in all of this is I don't even know if it would have mattered. Okay. Let's back up. I've had my eye on this tree in my on my property here at the house for quite some time. It's just getting too big, and I either want to trim this down dramatically or just get rid of it altogether. It's way past its prime. It needs to be. It's a metaphor of the audience. Back when I got rid of all of the group formerly known as Zaniacs, or when they left, that needs to happen to the tree. It needed to be trimmed back dramatically. It's affecting things. So the audience that left, they are the tree. Okay? Now they're happy because of the tree, I was injured. So now on this tree, there's all these little like berries on it, which kind of weigh it down on the ends of it. And by the way, the question or the comment, the race is coming up. I will not be racing. I can barely walk. There is no racing. My foot is badly damaged, but not so damaged that it'll affect me long term. Anyway. So now I'm going to go up like midway to this branch and cut it off. And so I'm thinking I'm going to go and climb quite a ways up. And this is a mistake. Anytime you are on a ladder with a chainsaw, you have made a mistake. And the hairs were going up on the back of my neck as I was headed up the ladder. I pulled. And I got it started, and I climb halfway up the ladder, and then I go, I just don't feel comfortable with this. So now what I should have done was then said, anything involving the ladder and this chainsaw is a bad idea. Just have someone do this for you. So I shut it off. And then pushed that voice back, and I moved to a different spot where I wasn't so high up in the air. So I'm literally a foot and a half in the air in my final spot before I started to cut this branch. Now, instead of cutting the branch like at the halfway point, I'm closer to the ground. I'm in an awkward position, but I'm cutting the base of this branch. The big-ass branch needs to go. All right. Now, remember I told you that this branch was weighed down by all these berries and shit. I mean, it adds to a significant amount of weight because there's so many of them. This tree's an asshole. It's a mess. I don't know what's wrong with people when they put these fucking things into the front of their houses however many years ago. The guy who lived here before me. Can't you, look and see what this tree is going to be like? See what it sheds? It's all these little fucking dense little berries that are just ridiculous. And it's an ugly tree. What the fuck? So I'm cutting the branch, all right? And all of that weight, as I get halfway through that branch, it snaps it. In an instant, that thing breaks. No big deal. I'm not going to get hit by the branch. But because of the suddenness of the breaking, and when it broke, it jarred the saw. Okay, so the saw is cutting. All of a sudden, the saw gets knocked up. All right. Now, I'm holding the saw awkwardly. I got my right hand is trigger, left hand on the bar on top. All right. There's another branch that hand holding bar on top hits. I let go. Now I've got the saw with one hand. My finger is off the trigger. So the blade is slow. The chain is slowing down, but it's still spinning. My hand swings down like a pendulum. Blade still spinning, hits the right side of my right crock. The blade stops because it's slowing down. It cuts well into the crock, well into my foot. Now, me just saying that gives me a horrible feeling of lowering my blood pressure. I don't do well when my own body or something in real time, like if Diana's leg were to fall off, I wouldn't do well with that at all. Put a pin in that, as they say. Put a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that part of the story. So I have now hurt my foot. I have cut my foot. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Saw off, step down, saw down. Look at the crock. Crock's bad gash in it. Pull my foot out. It hasn't started to bleed yet, but it is badly cut. Badly. Deep, horrible cut. And I limp over into the garage. Diana, I need your help. She goes, what? I go, I've badly cut my foot, and we need to go to the hospital right now. She's just looking at me. She's in shock. I go, please get my keys to the truck. We're going to leave. Very calm. There's a towel right there. I immediately put direct pressure on it. To get to the truck, though, I'm leaving blood behind me. It's like a murder scene. Plenty of blood. Okay, and it's ugly. And honestly, I have to be careful how to describe this to you. Put a pin in that. That's a second pin. There's 2 pins coming up. Now, if this story just ended with, I went to the hospital and got stitched up, wouldn't occupy too much of my time here, and then that would kind of be it. But there's more to this. There's a couple more layers to this story. But just know that, the foot is, it's going to take a little while. I can barely walk it. When I walk now, I have to curl my toes and put pressure when I step only on the heel and my big toe. And I am able to ambulate to some degree, but I can't put any pressure on the spot. And so the question, how did you get a gash on the bottom of your foot? Well, it isn't really on the bottom of the foot. It's on the side, but it cut in quite a bit of the foot. All right. I don't know how many stitches I got. I didn't look. I would say 10, 12, something like that. Inside, outside, stitched me back up, good as new. Found out while the doctor was working on your old pal Eric Zane that she's having a conversation with us after she's numbed up the foot. And we find out, she goes, oh, yeah, and she describes that she has loved ones that live, like, right around the corner from where I live. Like, I pass by the house, and it turns out that she goes, oh, yeah, my stepkids live there. And I go, now my brain was not working that great at that. I go, stepkids, so that means, she goes, yeah, I'm married to the woman that I'm married to the ex-husband of the woman that lives in that house. Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay. So I said to Dad, I go, I'm not going to mention to our neighbor that this happened because she's probably, sometimes people get pissed off about that. Stories about the woman that the ex-husband is married to. Okay. So there's a lot more to this story that I'm going to get to in just a bit. But this is like an old trick, and I apologize. But I actually don't have a ton of content to talk about today. I was a little bit preoccupied, so I wasn't able to get as many stories that I like to focus on any given show. So what I'm breaking this story up in half. So if you are on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube getting any of this, it's going to happen live, the rest of it, on Twitch in just a couple of moments. So you must go to twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live. Give yourself a little username there and hit the follow button, and you can check out the rest of the story. I suggest you go now because I'm going to finish it in a second. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live for the back half of EZ versus Chainsaw. And as always, if that's too much to ask, or you've got something going on, don't want to do it, perhaps you're driving, as soon as I'm done with this show, I will make the audio podcast available wherever you download shows. Just search Eric Zane Show Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or even go to my website if you want. But just to recap, yes, a chainsaw cut my foot. No long-term damage. I am hurt. And I, unfortunately, will not be able to run. And you're like, well, what are we going to do now? Those people had bets. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait 53 weeks. If Mike Ball is up for it in 1 year, and that gives him an out because I know Mike is not in the best of health right now, I will be able to run in a year. In fact, I should probably bring him in to tell him that we've got the weekend off. And that does kind of make me sad because I have put in a lot of work for it. All of your bets that you made, if you did make a bet, will be honored next year. So it's kind of like you've got a credit. Thank you for donating to the AT Children's Project. Let me bring Mike in here. Hopefully he's free. I don't know if he will be, though. You know how it is. Live phone calls, live show.
What's up, dummy?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I learned something yesterday.
Can't wait for what this is.
So yeah, I'm gonna leave ladders and chainsaws alone. I mean, I'll still use a chainsaw, just not on a ladder.
Okay. Didn't you learn that from your dad?
I did, but I guess I had to have it happen to me. Everybody's going to tell me that. So we have Sunday off.
Okay.
I cannot run.
So what are we going to do here?
Well, you know, I outside of the massive donation that you made, thank you very much. You know, I had probably a dozen and a half people that had donated to the AT Children's Project. The best thing I can come up with is they all count just next year. They won't, you know, I would honor their bets next year.
Okay.
That's the best I can come up with. Or I could just have a random drawing.
Yeah. Yeah, I racked my brain. I can't think of anything. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, but I can barely walk. It's ridiculous. So, you know, hopefully this will give you a little time to recover too, because I know you've been kind of ailing, and but at the same time, I feel bad, you know.
Yeah,
I
really liked your chances this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I mean, if this will give you time to do a legit recovery, get nursed back to health, and then we'll see where this takes us next year, I guess. I mean, I can't really think of anything else to do other than a random drawing, which I would then keep encouraging people to do it, and then we just kind of pull a name. But I mean, that kind of sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, you kind of have to have something to be fighting for.
Right. But yeah, I felt you were. By the way, I told no one of this outside of my immediate family, other than you. I'm laying. I'll get to the details as to what happened. I haven't even discussed what happened on the rest of the story after the initial injury. But I'm like, text Mike Ball, tell him what's up. So.
Yeah, I saw the pictures and I was like, oh boy.
Yeah, it was a humdinger, wasn't it?
Yeah, not good.
I haven't seen it. I have not
looked. Did your
looked.
wife tell you my text back to her?
But I guess you called me a dummy or something like that, or?
Nah, I just asked how long before I could rip on your dumb ass, and she said right now.
Right now. So. Absolutely right now. Absolutely right now. I've gotten to a point where my kids, my oldest is Jim, and he's 27, and he goes, Dad, I know you had this talk with your father, but I think, honestly, we need to talk. He actually talked to me like I'm a dementia patient. I mean, I had this discussion with my dad when he was in his 80s. I'm only 52, and he had the same talk with me.
Gotta start taking away your power tools.
Exactly. Shit, man.
No more sharp objects around you.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, that's it, buddy. Thank you for being understanding.
All right, man.
All right. See ya.
Heal up.
Yep. Mike Ball. Very nice man. Very sweet. Oops. Okay, so audience members on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I'm going to kick you all to the curb. It's going to be enough of you. Check it out on Twitch. For the rest of it, twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live.